I just said that in 1999, the Institute of Medicine, IOM, delivered the report. This is considered to be a landmark report. This report generated wide public media coverage and also alarming response from public. Why? Because in this report, it gave the figure that only in the United States of America, 44,000 to 98,000 patients die each year because of preventable medical error. A lot of doctors would not believe in this figure. But anyway, it's also mentioned that the death caused by preventable medical error is more than death from car accident, from breast cancer, from AIDS. That is well known to public in the United States at that moment. Whether we believe that figure or not, I think there's certain fact that we could gather. The first one is that adverse event real happen. But not all adverse event is the result of medical errors. It may be the unavoidable complication of treatment, or it may be the limitation of the equipment. It's not, it just adverse event happen, but not from medical error. Another fact is that we also know that even though they are medical error, but most medical error is not human error, it's a system error. Because the process of treatment have deep, complex the cause is complex. So it's not easy to pinpoint who is to be blamed for that adverse event. Most of you may be familiar with this Swiss model. In our healthcare process, there is a lot of steps involve different professionals, and person at the end who deliver care to the patient is an unlucky guy. But he may not be the real person who is responsible for the error. However, we know that whether it's the result of the report or not, but there are more and more malpractice cases filing to court for compensation. Actually, in the Western country, it's much more than in Thailand, but Thailand is also getting up. I just give the figure from the National Health Security Office. This is the case filing for preliminary compensation, more 40. Well, it seems to be rising, but maybe there's more awareness that they get the compensation. I don't know. Yeah. Actually, most of the cases are in obstetric. Most of the cases are in obstetric. That's why we take this issue today. And we all know that when adverse events happen, patient and relative will be uncertain. Question, what's the reason why it's happened? And because of that, it's also generate pain, suffering, and they just don't understand. And also the financial burden that will occur after the adverse event. All this quite often lead to malpractice compensation suit. In Thailand, it's not only for financial compensation. In certain cases, they also bring it to the criminal court. I think we all know that, we all learn that normal court procedure is not a satisfactory mechanism to settle all this conflict. Because according to the court procedure, in order to get the compensation, you need to prove that there is negligence. Somebody is doing something wrong because of his negligence or not, understand that before the court can grant the compensation to you. That means that the patient and his relative will have to start with the blame to the doctors or to the care team that you are doing something wrong, you are negligent in order to get, to continue the process in the court. With that, certainly it's create conflict. It disrupts the relationship between the doctor and the patient. And also, the process is traumatic. All parties suffer. And the process is very time-consuming. I know certain cases last more than 10 years before they end up at the third court, highest court. But in general, it's more than 5 years. And also, it's high cost. And we know that almost 40 to 50% of the costs go to the fighting in the court. It's not the money that the patient or relative will receive from the caregiver if they found negligent. But the most important is that when you bring the case to court, you're never sure how the result will come out. And we in the medical profession, I think we learned that in certain cases we think that this is clear-cut, we should win. But still, the court had different opinion. So, that I said the problem to you. We are looking for the alternative. Is there any good system, better system, to settle this conflict? We come across the system in Japan. During the last ISQA meeting in Tokyo, I have listened to Dr. Shin and his colleague talking again and again on the Japanese system to deal with this problem. So I will give the floor to Dr. Shin, and we will learn the whole story from Dr. Shin. Thank you, please.
Okay.